It's the semifinal stage of this college football playoff. It's time to find out who has the depth and the drive to take one huge step closer to the ultimate goal, hoisting that national championship trophy. This test is a matchup we cannot wait to see unfold. Welcome to Mercedes-Benz Stadium in downtown Atlanta. This is the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, part of the college football playoff. As we see the number 5 seed in this playoff, the Miami Hurricanes, taking on the top-seeded team in the playoff, the Michigan Wolverines. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Chris Fowler with Kirk Herbstreit. We are almost there. Time to find out who'll be headed to the national championship game. The kickoff team is out there, and here we go with this playoff semifinal game. This one is not returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone. Start the drive with a good throw to the right side. And the defense swarms not much of a gain on that completion.
Just a good job of spreading the ball, making sure everybody's getting their touches. When you do that, the defense can't lock in on one guy or two guys. Make them have to be aware of everybody. It allows you to continue to spread the ball around and spread the field, making it tougher for this defense.
Second down, we're going to throw it. Caught over the middle. It's pre-swarm. It goes down right there, but it's enough for a fresh set of downs for this offense.
The thing about this tight end is he is not only a great blocker, but shows here early in this game he can make great catches as well.
Fresh set of downs for the offense after that first down completion. Looking for a gap. It's Haynes.
Hat on a hat up front. Good job opening up the holes. Anytime you get positive yards on first down, that's a win.
Second down after that run on the previous play. Here's the snap. Offense looking to throw the ball. They'll try a pass here. The sure hands. It's Moore. And the junior with some excellent work after making the catch.
Well, it's another completion by this quarterback. Another great gain in a first down, and already over 30 yards through the air. This quarterback is in a zone here to start this game.
And the Wolverines are moving quickly down the field. Off the play fake on first down. Looking for his big tight end. He's got it right near the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan, as they claim the lead here in this playoff game. We come out in the playoff game, Kurt. No signs of rust for the offense immediately.
Yeah, no jitters at all. After the layoff, I wondered how they might be able to come out and communicate and actually just the rhythm to the offense. But they did not hesitate. They set the tone early. Now they got themselves a lead.
So it'll be a touchback. Ball spotted at the 25. incomplete. Defense shoves him out of bounds. Not much of a gain there.
Well, defending this guy, you need more than one defender. You really got to stress rallying to the football because this guy can make people miss.
Handoff here from the shotgun. And you see him able to make the stop after a short gain.
You know, in the era that we live in right now, everybody wants to spread the field around, try to create space, try to create one-on-one matchups, and the defense has countered over the years by trying to play out wide. But here's a great example. The defense has the ability to play wide, but still be solid.
Taking a shot deep down the right side. Oh, and he almost picked it off. Nearly a turnover. You're on the opening drive. It's going to bring up fourth down. And Canes will bring their punt team onto the field. The coverage team makes the stop on this return. The first play of this drive now from the 35. First down, looking to throw the football. Grab down the middle. It's Prescorn.
Well, that's pretty good coverage here by this defense. Not much of a window to throw this ball into, but the quarterback's accuracy and the size of the tight end picks up a nice gain.
Completion makes it second and short. Quarterback drops back from the shotgun, looking for a receiver. And it's incomplete on a very quick throw. So now it's third and short from the 43. Can they keep the drive going or perhaps face a tough fourth down decision? Quick throw, catch made on the out route. Ball carrier heads out of bounds, but the pickup is good enough to move the chains. First down.
And you just continue to see the chemistry between these two. And they told us yesterday in our production meeting, they spent hours and hours of working and developing that chemistry and that rhythm by throwing together throughout those summer months. And, man, it's starting to really pay off. He's become his security blanket for the quarterback, and especially on third down, get him the ball.
On the shotgun, it's a handoff. And it'll be smothered right at the line for no gain.
Chris, textbook job by the defense, surrounding the runner and preventing that play from being bounced to the outside.
Second down after that run on the previous play. Hand it off. Able to fight for a decent gain here in that running play.
When you can get good chunks of yardage like this on early downs, it just keeps you on schedule, leading to more manageable third down situations. Never underestimate the value of consistently getting 4 more yards a pop like that.
One of those critical third down plays coming up. Quarterback appears to be changing the play. RPO, the quarterback looks to his right. And they get the conversion there. First down now from the 33.
Chris, that's another positive game for this offense, and this quarterback continues to show why he's had such a great year this year. When he has time to throw, he gets his feet set. He's as accurate as any quarterback in the country.
Off the play fake, looking to throw on first down. It's a quick grab. The tackle is made after a 4-yard gain, so second and 6.
Love the timing here between the quarterback and his receiver. Pick up some positive yards, and I continue to be impressed with just the chemistry between these two.
That completion makes it second and medium. Looking to throw here. Caught over the middle. It's Moore. To get him down quickly, not much of a gain on that completion. The Wolverines will hustle to the line to run the hurry-up offense. In the third and short, they'll try to throw for it. Has fought near the sideline, but he gains nothing.
This defense has got to do a better job of coverage if they want to get off the field anytime soon. You keep defending like that, and this offense could have 50 on you by the end of this game.
The Wolverines come to the line to start a fresh set of downs. And they hand it off to the back. The gain is 3 yards, so second and 7.
Chris, I know it's not a huge game. You didn't pick up the first down, but it's still early in this game. Never abort this running game. You keep working. It's kind of like a body blow in a boxing match. Keep wearing the defense down, and eventually you can hit a big one.
That's the end of the first quarter. With the score, Michigan 7, Miami 0.
Offense getting set for a second down here to begin the quarter. And he keeps it. Tackled, but first down.
You know, offensive linemen are just a certain breed. They're always going to do their job, no matter who's back there carrying the ball. I'll tell you what, they have a little bit more confidence when the person that's carrying the ball can break off some big-time runs. That makes them block just a little bit harder, knowing what he's potentially capable of doing.
Here comes a first down pass attempt. Off target with a throw, incomplete. Second down. This is important. They want to avoid a third and long. The back's got it. The pickup is just 3 yards. Now it's third down and 7. This is crucial. Defense needing a stop on third down, trying to force a field goal. On third down, he drops to throw. Cannot connect, incomplete, and now fourth down.
I see what the quarterback's trying to do here. He's holding on to that football to the last possible second to give that play a chance, but he held it just a little bit too long. The defense is able to hit him to force that incompletion.
So here on fourth down, out comes the field goal team. That one straight down the middle. And they add to the lead. So after the field goal, the kicker out there again to boot it away. Well, he thought about coming out, but instead takes a knee to bring the football to the 25-yard line. And the first play of the drive now for the 25. To the air, it's Beck. The quarterback delivers quickly, a receiver on the screen. He's brought down after a short gain. That's not going to be first down yardage.
Well, anytime an offensive coordinator calls a wide receiver screen, he's trying to get offensive linemen out in front of the receiver to create a wall so that receiver can pick a lane to run through. How about the defense here, though? That's called team pursuit, the swarming to the football. They didn't give him any lanes, so not much yards downfield for the receiver.
Offense sets the formation. It's third down. They'll try to move the chains here on the ground. And the Canes are going to keep this drive moving.
Great job here by this offense being able to convert. Let's face it, they dug themselves a hole. They're down here early in this game. And with all this hype, the last thing you want to do is have to punt the ball. Come up with a conversion, keep your rhythm, keep your momentum, stick to your playbook. Good job here. Now let's see if they can keep that rhythm going.
Quick throw caught on the left side. He tackled quickly after the catch. He'll be short of the marker.
You see more and more offenses in college football going to 3 receivers, and the slot receiver a lot of times can become the go-to guy. He gets mismatches against either safeties, a nickelback, or a linebacker walked out, and you can take advantage of it.
Important second down play coming up. Play action fake. Looking to throw. He's running out of time here. Makes the grab. It's Lyle. And the runner steps out of bounds, but does have enough yardage to pick up the first down.
That's what I love about this guy. He has the ability to sneak out of the backfield. The quarterback's able to find him open, checks it down for a nice gain.
The Hurricanes pick up enough yardage to move the sticks. Looking to throw. It's back. That's caught. It's Daniels. Oh, and he heads out of bounds after a really nice gain there. That's a nice pickup there. They find some space in the zone and pick up the first down.
Yeah, really nice call here, Chris, to be able to pick up this first down on this drag route. The quarterback does a nice job of being patient, waiting for that window to open up in that zone, and he put it right on the money for the receiver to have a chance to not just catch it, but eventually get the first.
Looking to throw it on first down. Looking for his big tight end. Finds a receiver in the middle of the field. Tackle made after a nice pickup on the play. Okay, we reached the 2-minute timeout. The offense some work to do here trying to cut into this lead before halftime. The Hurricanes getting set on 1st and 10. From the shotgun, here's an inside give.
See, that's how you limit what an offense wants to do. This time, the defense just won the battle up front at the line of scrimmage, not giving up any big plays. Everybody's gap sound. It's really solid defense on that play.
Touchdown, Hurricanes, as they get on the board here in this playoff game. That's the kind of execution that's built in the practice field. A very precise pitch and catch for a touchdown.
You know, when we were out of practice, one thing that really stood out to me about this receiver was his ability to separate with his route running ability. You can see that right there on game day and how that shows up for a touchdown.
And they'll set up for the PAT. PAT is good and still trailed on. Kickoff team out there. They are fired up after just scoring a touchdown. And it comes out to the 25. No return attempted there. And the first play of the drive now for the 25. And there's the handoff. Moves the ball up to the 30. And the Wolverines hustle to the line to run the hurry up. Looking to pass here on second down. Grab near the sticks. It's Prescorn. And he'll head out of bounds, but not before picking up enough for a first down.
The tight end drag route is the perfect option for an offense looking to scheme that position open for some yardage. Perfect execution here for a first down.
This line getting set up. It's a first down play. Here's the snap. Looking to throw here. Makes the grab. It's Haynes.
One thing I love about this back is how he gets involved in the passing game. Nice catch here.
Looks like the QB is changing the play at the line. Quarterback looking to throw it on second down. Looking for a man deep down the middle. Deep ball is caught for a huge gain here. Finally brought down to the 12. An explosive play puts him in great scoring position.
That is great arm strength and accuracy by this quarterback. Let's not forget the wide receiver's job of bringing it in for that big game.
All of a sudden, that one explosive play has set the offense up inside the red zone. And the wideout goes in motion. On 1st and 10 here, looking to throw the ball. And he makes the catch. Touchdown, Wolverines.
I'll tell you what, in this first time, this quarterback seemed to be making all the right reads and showing the accuracy that he's shown all year long. Outstanding pass, great conversion. They put 6 more on the board.
PAT is good, and they go up 17-7. So the offense getting some momentum before halftime with the touchdown. Now they kick off in hopes the defense can get a quick stop. So no return here. He takes it in the end zone, and they'll begin the drive at the 25. And the first play of the drive now on the 25. They start with an RPO. Quick pass to the right.
Just a good job here by the quarterback. Got the ball out to his receiver. His guy eats up some yards. They stay ahead of the sticks.
Back to pass. It's back. Caught near the sticks. It's Joseph. He'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage.
Well, this wide receiver has it all. We know about his leaping ability and his speed. But what I've seen today is the precise route running. Another example of it there, and the timing.
The pass is intercepted. He can go. He goes down, but they'll have a chance here now just before halftime.
Well, they come out of that nickel package. The move pays off, gives them an extra defensive back on the field, a little bit more speed and awareness, and it pays off for this big interception.
Here comes the first play of the drive. Can they do something in the final 30 seconds of the half? Quarterback checks the defensive look, makes some adjustments. On 1st and 10, they'll look to throw it. Defense is coming after him. And a nice gain there in the scramble. He saw an opening and tried to get there with his legs. The offense will take their first 10 out of the half. A tough strategy here. So the offense takes the field in the final seconds of the half. Chance for just a couple more plays. Quarterback wants to throw it on 2nd down. Looking downfield near the end zone. Intercepted in the end zone. They bring him down. A chance to turn that into points just before halftime.
Love to see defensive backs who are able to locate the football and break on the ball and be able to go up and make a clean interception. Great play here.
Time ticking away. Time for just one more play before halftime. And looking to throw now on 1st down. Looking for his big tight end. They can't come up with it there, and that's going to do it. Time runs out in the first half. Minute's going to wrap up the first half here. Let's kick it down to Kevin Connors with our halftime update. The Wolverines will kick this away to start the second half. Doesn't bring the kick out. Touchback. They'll start at the 25. Second down after that previous play. Looking to pass. It's back. It's a screen pass complete to the running back. And they'll bring him down. The defense fought through the blocks, and they stop him short of the first down.
You can see what the offense is trying to do here with this screenplay, but they avoid disaster by at least getting a few positive yards. The defense doing a great job of anticipating the screen here.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw it. Finds that big tight end for a short pass. And they'll move the 6 on that one. It's a first down to the 42. The Canes come to the line to run the hurry up.
Really good job here of converting by this offense. And let's face it, at this point in the game, because they have such a big hole to climb out of, they've got to be able to convert and come up with a new set of downs. They do it here, and now they got a real shot to cut into this lead.
So off the play fake there, the big tight end gets open downfield.
Well, I love this call right here. Anytime you can run the football, eventually it opens up play action. Linebackers and safeties' eyes are in the backfield. They lose the tight end completely, and a quarterback throws that one on rhythm for a nice gain.
The Canes are moving quickly down the field. Keep it on the ground. There's the handoff. Defense stops him, but that's a solid gain.
Another positive run on 1st and 10. You know, it's early on in this drive, but this defense has not shown the ability to stop the run. If I'm the offensive coordinator, I just keep running the football until they prove they can stop it.
Offense getting set. It's 2nd down. Play fake, looking to throw. And he's going to take a shot down the left side. Caught way downfield for a huge gain.
The defense is spread all over the field, creating some one-on-one matchups, and the quarterback makes them pay for
it. Here we go, 1st and goal. A touchdown here gets him right back into this game. Keep it on the ground, trying to power in for the touchdown. Slams right into a wall. They've got him for a loss.
Chris, I'll be really honest with you. I don't know why they continue to try to run the football. I'm all about balance. I'm all about trying to make sure a defense has to defend the run and the throw. But at this point in the game, they haven't been able to run the ball. They're going to have to go through the air.
Touchdown, Miami. They cap the drive with 6 points. No surprise there, Kirk. It's a red zone touchdown to the big tight end.
Well, the tight ends are usually much more involved down in the red zone because of their size and their skill set allows them to be more effective down in this area. Now, they may not hurt you on the big long throw, but they can use their bodies to provide the quarterback a nice target when the defense is so condensed.
The extra point cuts the lead to 3, 17-14.
Michigan 17, Miami 14.
So after putting up the touchdown, the kickoff team is out there to boot it away. And he'll lead the kickoff right there to start at the 25. Play of the drive now from the 25. Quarterback making adjustments now to what the defense is showing. Looking for the wideout. Catch made in space. Look out. He picks up the 1st down, but gets drilled with the tackle.
That's a nice completion here by this Michigan offense. And when Michigan is really clicking, you think about over the years, they've been efficient within that passing game, being able to throw the football to complement a very physical running game. Nice play.
One play moves the ball to the 45. It'll be 1st down. Quarterback drops back. Quick throw to the left side. Incomplete. They cannot connect on the deep ball.
The offense doesn't come up with the completion here, Chris, but I think it gives you an indication of what they think they can do here in the second half of this playoff game.
The 2nd and 10 after the previous play. Quarterback sets up, looking for an open man. Running out of time in the pocket. Breaks loose at the 45.
Well, they did a good job of getting pressure on the quarterback, but, man, make the play. Bring him down. Instead, they give up positive yards here on the scramble.
The Wolverines will have 1st and 10 here. They'll go with the ground game here. Running back takes the handoff. It's a 2-yard gain. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Chris, the advantage you have, obviously, from a quarterback standpoint, running the RPO, is you get time to evaluate that 1st and 2nd level of the defense and see where they're going. Unfortunately, the defense didn't show him much, and the back ends up taking it for just a few.
2nd down play coming up. on the ground here. Gets the first and still running. And they tackle him, but not before he picks up the first.
A good push up front here in this back. I tell you, he's got some outstanding vision to be able to find those creases, to be able to get positive yards, and here he gets the first down.
It's a 1st and 10 play coming up for the offense. From the shotgun, he's probing the secondary. And it's incomplete. The defender arrived at the same time as the football. And now it's 2nd down.
Well, this quarterback and his receivers have got to get on the same page. They've got to find a rhythm if they want to move the ball down the field.
So 2nd down after the incompletion. Here's the snap. Quarterback drops back. Caught by the receiver.
On 2nd down was caught by the receiver.
Big moment here in this playoff game. 3rd and short on the 7th play of the drive. Looking to pick up the first down through the air. He cannot escape. It's a sack. They need 5 yards here on 4th down to keep the drive alive. Quarterback drops back, probing the secondary. And it's intercepted. He stepped in front of that bullet. Could take it all the way. They finally tackle him, but what a tremendous play. The pick and then that return.
Chris, that's back-to-back drives now that this offense has thrown interceptions. They've got to be able to regroup on the sideline, adjust their schemes, maybe their personnel groupings and formations, try to find a new way to attack, because right now, this isn't working.
Takes the handoff. It's Pringle. He's got room to run. Nice run. He's brought down to the 44.
What a great job to be able to establish some rhythm to an offense. When you can run the football like this, it just opens up the playbook. You can continue to run. You can go to play action. You really keep the defense on their heels when you can run the ball like this. Nice play.
Bringing pressure. On the move now. Grab down the middle. It's Daniels. Man is going to be taken down there, but there is a flag on the field. Oh, it would have been a big momentum shift with that play, but the penalty negates it. All right, here comes the 4th quarter. Everything to play for here. Who's going to stay alive, survive, and advance in the college football playoff? Here we go. First play of the quarter. Offense setting up for a 2nd down play. Back to throw. It's Speck. Over the middle. It's Joseph. They make the stop, but not before a solid gain that time.
We'll see if the defense stays in zone after that big play. If they can change things up on this drive and get a little bit more aggressive.
First down. Looking to throw the ball. Looking to set up a screen pass here. Breaks loose at the 40. And he runs out of bounds. That's a big gainer there.
Great patience here. Great execution by the entire offense. The quarterback kind of baits the defense towards him, drops it off to the back, and he's got a convoy in front of him for a nice first down.
On first down, it's play action. Taking a shot deep toward the end zone. Oh, the pass is picked off. Oh, he's bringing it back. They finally bring him down, but what a return after the takeaway.
Well, this guy obviously did what he needed to do to get himself ready for this game. It's a favorable matchup. He's got a lot of confidence. He's already come up with 2 interceptions in this game alone. Locked in on what he needs to do to be in position and making plays for this defense.
The first play of this drive now is set up at the 34. On first and 10, looking to throw. He escapes the pocket. The ball to the ground. The defense scoops it up. Breaks into the clear. At the 10 now. Touchdown, Canes. A defensive score in this playoff game. And they grab the lead here in the fourth quarter of this semifinal. And that is any defender's dream. A touch to take the lead in the fourth quarter of a playoff game.
Well, when you play this kind of scheme, it could lead you potentially into having opportunities to create turnovers. Here they get the bonus because they get points off of it, give themselves the lead. Now they're going to hold on here to see if they can advance to the national title.
So the challenge doesn't work. That will cost the head coach a timeout. We'll see if that comes into play later in the ballgame. DXC up and good. The lead is 4 here in the final quarter.
Miami 44, Michigan 17.
Got momentum after scoring that touchdown. Now the kickoff team out there to kick it away. Return starts from inside the 5. And the returner will be brought down. Here's the first play of the drive. They'll set up from the 13. First down. We're going to throw the football. The pocket breaking down. It's incomplete. He was hit as he threw a good pass rush there on first down.
And that's just a great job by this defense of affecting the rhythm of this offense. These guys are in go mode here in the fourth quarter, trying to come back to win this game, and the defense is meeting the challenge so far.
Looking for some space. It's Haynes. They'll tackle him at the 17-yard line. And the Wolverines looking to crank up the tempo a bit. He'll drop back here on third down. Hit as he releases it, and the pass ball is incomplete. Now one possession in the fourth quarter, and the offense is going to try to convert here on fourth down. From the shotgun, drops back. He's got it. Enough for a first down. It's a solid gain. Moves the ball out to the 28.
That's what you love to see from the quarterback, recognizing the receiver's past the marker, and a good job by the receiver to know where he needed to go to get that first down.
Here comes a first down pass attempt. Gets made on the out route. Powering through the defender. Heads out of bounds after a solid gain.
Well, it's one thing to hear about how fast this receiver is in the scouting report. You look at him on film all week. The defensive coordinator tells you, get ready, this guy can run. And then the reality comes, and this guy can fly. You see it again here. Nice catch.
The Wolverines pick up enough yardage to get a fresh set of downs. Here's a quick throw off the play fake. Zero running room. Stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Here's the second down play.
Well, that was definitely not what they had in mind, but look at this. Here comes the tempo again, undeterred by the tackle for a loss.
Pretty easy call for the head coach. He will accept that penalty, of course. What's the play call here on second down for this offense? Quarterback making some changes at the line. Back to throw again. It's real in. It's Haynes. They bring him down quickly, a short pitch and catch to get a little bit closer to the marker.
That's a much better job by this quarterback of working through his progressions. We've seen him earlier try to force some throws, trying to make a big play. This time, works through his progressions, checks it down into the flat, and picks up some positive yards.
And moves the football to the 27 and a first down. Good job there finding the back of that angle route. The timing was perfect there.
Yeah, effective third down play to be able to move the chains. I really like the cut there on the route by the running back, getting across the middle of the field. And like you said, the quarterback does a nice job of getting the ball out of his hands.
Looking for the end zone, has a lane. Touchdown, Michigan. And they take the lead here in the fourth quarter.
Well, this is why they love this guy so much, is when it's crunch time, he makes plays like this. And what I love is the quarterback knows all you got to do is get the ball in his hands, and he can do the rest of the work and get it all the way to the end zone. Great play.
And he knocks the PAT right down the middle.
Michigan 24, Miami 21.
Fielded in the end zone. It's Carr. It'll be tackled right at the 20. That's a good job by the coverage team. Here's the first play of the drive now from the 20-yard line. Scanning the field. It's Beck. Makes the catch. It's Carr. Defense reacts quickly. A very short gain on the play. A completion sets up a second down play. Here's the snap, looking to throw. The pass rush closing in. He's picked for a third time tonight. Short return tackle made at the 27. A crucial takeaway.
Chris, that's his third interception in this game alone. If he's going to stay in this game, he's got to do a better job of protecting the football.
And the Michigan offense comes back out on the field. The passing game was clicking beautifully in the last drive, right down for a touchdown. Let's see if they can do it again. Choosing to just throw the ball away that time. Second down play now coming up. Incompletion makes it second down and 10 from the 27. QB tries it again here on 2nd and 10. Quick throw to the left side. We'll head to the 2-minute timeout as this offense tries to work the clock and preserve this lead. A spot in the national championship game comes down to the final 2 minutes. Can the offense keep the football and bleed out the clock? Dropping back, they're going to throw for the first down. And it's incomplete again. Fourth down coming up.
Hey, it's an incompletion, but it's a nice job by the quarterback. I know it didn't pan out, but the most important thing is he didn't turn the football over, and he didn't take a sack. It'll give your kicker a chance to put some points on the board if they opt for the field goal here on fourth down.
Oh, and he missed it. The kick is no good. The lead remains 3 after that miss.
Now that's going to go down as an empty possession for this offense. No points as he's off target. Now you can see he's hanging his head. Poor kicker.
And the first play of the drive now set up at the 27. Looking downfield, it's Beck. Taking a deep shot here late in the game. He hauls it into the 25, still running. Tackle made quickly, but a big chunk play for this offense through the air.
Boy, they got the matchup that they wanted here, Chris, with this quarterback having enough time. Good job by the offensive line. He puts it right on the money. Huge gain. You look at the clock and you look at the score. This is an opportunity here to work some clock and potentially get the go-ahead score late. You don't want to give that opposing quarterback too much time to work with.
They'll run it here. The gain is 3 yards. Brings up a second down and 7.
Gain of 3. Brings up second down.
Time winding down deep in this game with a shot at the championship game on the line. Can the offense step up? Toss play to the outside. Running with purpose. They've got him at the 5. Great run to set up scoring position here.
That's a football play right there, Chris. This one takes me back a little bit. Toss sweep to the right. Get the ball into your back's hands. Get a lot of people out in front. control the line of scrimmage. How about the wide receivers? They're doing a nice job blocking downfield. Almost felt like half the offense was out in front of him, giving him a chance to pick up some big yards.
Keep it on the ground on 1st and goal. Defense gets him down, but they'll take the gain on that play.
Chris, that's positive yards on 1st and goal, which is obviously good. But now we're at this point in the game, critical series. They've got to find a way to get the ball in the end zone.
See if the offense can punch it in on 2nd and goal. They'll try to run this one in. They test the middle of the defense, but get nothing. And the defense will take a timeout here. 22 seconds on the clock.
Well, they came very close to punching that one in, and now 3rd down and goal. And if I'm the OC, I challenge my offensive line in that back. I just slam it right back into that A-gap and try to overpower that defensive front.
Here in the 4th quarter, they must cut into this lead. It's 3rd down and goal. To throw, it's back. And it's incomplete, very near the goal line.
Chris, this is it. It comes down to this 4th down play to be able to stay in this football game. They've got to convert to be able to keep their hopes alive. Can this quarterback deliver and make the play?
So far, 4th and goal. And this offense is down, needs this. On the ground, trying to punch it in for the score. Touchdown, Hurricanes. They jump on top now here in the 4th.
Oh, just a great job here by the offensive line and the running back to be able to get this ball into the end zone late in the game like this, now in the 4th quarter, to give them the lead.
DT up and good. The lead is 4 here in the final quarter.
Miami 28, Michigan 24.
After taking the lead, they'll kick it away and hope the defense can just hang on for a few more seconds. And it comes out to the 25. No return attempted there. Looking to throw it on 1st down. Lets it go quickly. Oh, he makes the catch. Oh, and he hits out of bounds after a really nice gain there. A massive gain has set him up at the 41-yard line, enemy territory. On 1st and 10 here, looking to throw the ball. There's contact on the throw, and it's incomplete. Just 5 seconds left on the clock now.
Well, obviously, a field goal does them no good. They're going to have to put the ball into the end zone and hope that somebody can make a game-changing play.
Getting set. Your 2nd down. After the incompletion on 1st down, looking to throw it again. Oh, the pass rush gets home. course, in the playoffs, it's survive and advance. This is a crucial W. Great performance, but now the stage gets even bigger. The challenges will continue going forward.
Yeah, more and more pressure will grow as this team continues to win football games, but you and I have been around this team all year long. So impressed with the emotions and how they're able to contain themselves, stay focused on the task at hand. They did that again today. They advance. Cannot wait to watch and see what they can do next week.
And now the stage is set for this season's ultimate college football game. We will see you at the National Championship. For Kirk Herbstreit, I'm Chris Fowler. This has been a presentation of EA Sports College Football.